Here.
Ms. Collins?
Here.
Ms. Guido?
Here.
Dr. Jacobowitz?
Here.
Ms. Jordan?
Here.
Ms. Lau?
Here.
Mr. Michael?
Here.
Mr. Shaughnessy?
Here.
Ms. Shear? Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Now, we're going to depart from the usual order of business so that we can do the tenure and retirement certificates first. So I'm going to begin with reading the resolution P-128, teacher tenure. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of Dr. Paul J. Catalino, Superintendent of Schools, that the following persons be appointed on tenure in the Kingston City School District in the area specified and on the date indicated, contingent upon the successful completion of his or her probationary period and maintenance of valid certification. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstentions? And we'll go on to the next one as well, teaching assistant tenure, CS24. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of Dr. Paul J. Catalino, Superintendent of Schools, that the following teaching assistants be granted tenure in the Kingston City School District. I'll entertain a motion. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, so we're going to move on to everything else. Oh, okay. So we're going to come down to the podium where you receive your certificates.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we will be honoring our teachers who are teacher and teacher assistants who are receiving tenure, but we will also be honoring our retirees from the Kingston City School District. They are not on the agenda because they've been previously approved by the board earlier in the school year when they were received. So we are going to call down people who are starting first, who are being awarded tenure, and then we will call down our retirees after that. But before we do that, I just want to say, those of you who are receiving tenure, every year I say the same thing, and I say tenure is not something that is given, tenure is something that is earned. So you have earned this honor, you have earned this achievement, and the expectation from this point forward, and the reasons you're giving tenure is because this Board of Education Administration believes that you are the best of the best, and that you will be doing giving our students what they need every day to achieve what they need to achieve. And when you look around you and you see the retirees who are with you, those are the people you need to emulate. Those are the people who have blazed the trail. Those are the people who have made a difference in the lives of students that you need to do moving forward. So you have big shoes to fill. But we have faith, we believe, and we've seen evidence that you can do that. So I congratulate you, and I'm going to call down our teachers who are being awarded tenure today. Elizabeth Allen. Brittany Brockman. Linda Brockman. Erica Butler. Amanda Campbell. Kristen Campbell. Caitlin Carter. Robin Hoppy. Kelsey Dexter. Melissa Doty. Nicholas Duker. Kathy Finch. Nicole Gardner. Amy Gellin. Victoria Hastings. Grace Johnston. Amy Noth. Jessica Lowe Pitcher. Nancy Miller. Colleen Norris. Margaret Peterson. Mary Elizabeth Polacco. Kathleen Quinn. Nicole Roush. Kurt Reinhardt. Alyssa Shadow. Richard Sophia. Angela Sturbens. Marika Bruce James. Samantha Ward. Megan Williams. Susan Bard. Kathleen Bell. Deanne Bradley. I'm sorry, I failed to realize that we went from tenure to retirement. So I apologize. So before I go any further with the retirement announcements, I will say a couple things to our retirees. First of all, thank you. And second of all, this morning I was lucky enough to spend a few hours at Ulster BOCES honoring the 3 top students in our school district and all the school districts in Ulster BOCES. And I want you to know that as I saw them, I realized what I was doing tonight. And as I spoke about them and spoke to them and heard them speak, I thought about tonight. And I thought about the people in this room who are retiring and how they make a difference in the lives of those kids every single day. And how they, the teachers that are retiring, the teachers that are moving on right now, the ones that really made a difference in the lives of those students and helped them to achieve what they achieved. And the things that these students were going on to do are unbelievable. The schools they're going to, the things they've already done are unbelievable. And we have you to thank for that, and they have you to thank for that. And I know you don't hear it very often, so I do want to make sure that at least this one last time you hear it, so thank you. Michael Berger. Margaret Baru. Lori Cantelli. Lisa Castellano. Maria Jacaro. Jerry Durnison. Carol Geyers. Lisa Gallo. David Goldman. Carla Haverly. Susan Barbers. Susan Kavanaugh. Pamela Kellman. If you sit in the back, you have to walk. Joseph Leary. Barbara McGrath. Denise Mitchell. Anne Muriella. Veronica Moore. Paul Nichols. Gail Olson. Dolores Tascone. Karen Pillsworth. Pamela Priestley. Patricia Ryan. Suzanne Shaler. James Starr. Lynn Umbel. Elena Bagel. Kathy Warner. June Wolferstein. I Ping Ye.
A little shorter than he is. Well, in the interest of getting to cake and actually celebrating, I would like to say on behalf of the board, my colleagues on the board, congratulations to those of you who are getting tenure, and both the teachers and the teaching assistants. And as Dr. Panglino said, we know we have the best of the best, and we're looking forward to many, many wonderful years. To those of you who are retiring, many of whom I worked with, have a long, very happy, healthy retirement. Spend time with your friends, travel with your grandchildren. Have a wonderful life from here on out. And thank you on behalf of the district and the children of the district for your service.
And the one thing Ms. Shear forgot to say to our retirees is sign up for the substitute list. Please. We'd now like to invite everyone out to the front for... I'm going to defer to the board president, and we're going to go back up to the board.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session after 15 minutes to celebrate with everybody.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now
And we have no resolutions coming out of executive session, and so we've reached a portion of the meeting where we welcome public participation. If you would like to address the board, you should come to the microphone on the podium and speak clearly into it so you'll be picked up on the live stream. If you have 2 minutes, our board clerk will let you know when you're approaching the 2 minutes, and it's a conversation. If anybody would like to address the board at this point, please approach the podium. Okay. Well, seeing no takers, we'll move along to the approval of minutes for March 22nd, 2017. I'll entertain a motion. Second. Okay, are there any corrections or amendments to the minutes for March 22nd? Okay, all those in favor of the minutes for March 22nd, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? We'll move on to the minutes of April 5th, which was a one-item agenda on the budget. I'll entertain a motion. So moved. Second. Okay, any amendments to the minutes of April 5th? Corrections? Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the final minutes for this evening's approval, April 19th. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. Any amendments, corrections to minutes for April 19th? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting minutes of April 19th, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Objection or abstentions? Okay, that brings us to district happenings. And this evening, we have Mrs. Eagles down here with the scholar athletes.
It turns out, I don't think any of our scholar athletes are here, but I will recognize them anyway. For May, thank you. For May, we had Jeffrey Hayner for our male athlete of the month, and Kendall Parker for our female athlete of the month. They both had great months, actually. Jeff Hayner pitched a perfect game, and his team is heading to the Final Four. His baseball team's heading to the Final Four this Friday, which is great. And Kendall Parker also had a great May as well. She scored 100 goal in lacrosse. Jeff will be attending Niagara University to play Division I baseball, and Kendall will be attending Howard University on an athletic and academic scholarship to play lacrosse. So, congratulations. So for tonight's video, we're going to hear from Kingston High School's class of 2017. I will say, after getting to meet these students this year and during the video, it's safe to say that our future looks very bright.
You did or?
I definitely think being at Kingston in particular is a good experience because of the vast amount of people and diversity here. We definitely have a lot of opportunity and diversity and opportunities to learn from different people.
It's a great place. It's very diverse. You got people, from all over the world, all different ethnicities, all walks of life.
I'm Brianna Almanzar. I'll be studying zoology at SUNY Oswego.
I'm Matthew First, and I'm going to be going to Ulster to study cinematography.
My name is Jada Ogunije, and I will be attending the University of Missouri-Kansas City School of Medicine.
My name's Autumn Spyhalski, and after high school I plan to attend the University of Buffalo and study pharmacy.
Good to see that. I'll be going to Northeastern University.
My name is Johnny Lachlan, and next year I'll be attending the College of St. Rose to play lacrosse and to study either communications or journalism.
My name is Layla Hindia, and I am going to be attending Quinnipiac University after I graduate.
My name is Chucky Robinson. I plan to attend AIC.
I'm Tanya Ridge, and I plan to go to St. Rose.
Jason Hines. I'm going to study Brook University.
My name is Elizabeth Tornatori, and I am going to St. Rose in Albany to become a special education teacher.
10 years, so I will be 27. Hopefully I will be working in a hospital full-time by then.
In 10 years, ideally, I see myself as a traveling journalist for a big media company.
In 10 years, I really picture myself in the field, and a goal of mine is to intern with Doctors Without Borders, so I really want to intern in the field abroad somewhere.
I hope to see myself in the future here.
This is like the most generic thing you would hear, just be yourself, but you hear it a lot because it's true.
Stay as true to yourself as possible. It is hard sometimes getting caught up in popularity and what everyone else is doing, but I definitely think here especially there's always a group that you can find that's really like you.
Join one of the clubs here, join choir, join the art program, join public speaking, just join something because it'll give you somewhere to always go, to always to feel safe.
It makes you make friends, it gives you something to feel like you have a say in.
I would definitely recommend to any incoming freshman that you get to know your teachers. Your first year of teachers, some of them will become your mentors, or you can go back to them throughout your 4 years. They're going to be the first people you meet, and sometimes some of them are your first friends, and they'll connect you to everything you need to know.
Not being afraid of failing and trying again, because that's the only thing that you can do in life is try. And if you fail, then that's okay, you can try again.
Definitely that you can do a lot more than you think. You can overcome anything.
I definitely think all of the work that I've done through the art program has been one of my greatest accomplishments.
My grades have gotten a lot better because I've worked a lot harder throughout the years and I've wanted to improve. As a person, I've just grown and gotten more mature.
The Kingston State School District's music program has totally changed my outlook and has made me want to become a band teacher.
I'll miss this school because it's my first school in America, and there's a good teacher here, who are respectful people here.
Every day is a success. Every day you get up is a new day, and that to me is success.
Success, in my definition, is being happy. I think it's not materialism or what you have. I think it's based on how satisfied you are with where you are in your life.
There's a lot of definitions you can have for success, actually, but you have to find your own definition for success.
Now I'd like to turn the floor over to the superintendent with the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just before we go into the superintendent's report, I think I want to just emphasize, I know there are athletes of the month aren't here, I just want to emphasize that a perfect game in baseball. And that picture, a perfect game, that means everyone that came up to bat got out. No one got on base, there were no errors, a perfect game, and that doesn't happen. And 100 goals in one season for lacrosse players is phenomenal. So I'm just disappointed they're not here, but I have reached out to congratulate them, because both those are amazing, just incredible feats. So moving on to the superintendent's report, we're going to start with our Kingston High School principal, Mr. Kirk Reinhardt, who is going to talk to us about what's going on at Kingston High School.
Good evening and thank you very much. I have a couple guests that will be with me tonight, and I just want to highlight a couple things we've done at the high school that were mainly our goals that we wanted to improve. Ms. Parker is here, one of our students, Maria Perez, one of our ambassadors, also Ms. Hecker that stepped up and was a great help as we try to grow and improve our parent association. As you know, one of our big goals, I actually spoke about a year ago about our PBIS. So we were really excited the first day of school, the Benedictine Mental Health donated the money, and every teacher at the high school, every staff, everybody works there got a t-shirt. And as you can see, I think it was something like 97% of the faculty wore them the first day, and we continued that the first Monday of the month. It was great for the students to see that everybody was on board, everybody had the same message. It's about creating that environment and culture that we want all our students to be safe, and we believe all our students can be extremely successful. A couple highlights from the fall semester. Obviously the shirts, we came up with the high school with the Tiger Matrix, which is those 6 values that we want for all of our students and our staff to model. We created PBIS binders, and the first Monday of the month, we used a lot from the Prim magnet, the Prim booklet, and also we had skits and different things on KHS TV, and our KHS TV did a lot over the summer to create those. We also did PBIS Door Wars, and hopefully if you were there open the house, you got to see a lot of them. They were pretty amazing. We did staff suggestion box, it was in the main office. We also started, at last count, I think we were well over 300 student positive referrals. Then we also started positive referral for staff. So it was staff to staff. It was also student to staff. We actually had students that wrote positive referrals for our staff, which was pretty cool. And last thing is obviously once the school year is over, we'll take all the data, we'll look at our ISS and our tracking, our referrals, see if we're improving and where we need to continue to move forward. Going into the spring, if we're making a school that's safer and better and our students are more welcome, one of the things is obviously attendance. And the theory behind this is, we have a lot of students that come to school every single day, work really hard, do all the things that are going to make them successful in life, but they're never acknowledged. They're not on a sport team, they're not on the honor roll, they're not in band. So we wanted to find a way to acknowledge those students that just come every day and do those great things. So actually, thanks to Kate and Megan, we were able to get this on the website. We started this semester. For our first quarter doing this was the 3rd. So 100% attendance for first period, 93. But we also wanted to reward those students that were improving, and that's part of PBIS. So we also acknowledge students that had a 10% improvement in attendance from one quarter to the next. We'll do this again at the 4th quarter, and then obviously we'll try to really promote this as we head into the fall. With that, we have one more picture, sorry. This is some of our door wars, and this was the one going into the field house. And like I said, we were there open house, I think the doors came out really nice. So with that, I'd like to introduce Ms. Parker and Ms. Perez. One of the things we really want to do is this first year, it was a lot with adults driven. The goal is for our PBS to start becoming student driven. So with that, we took Yvonne to talk about her ambassadors and our student ambassadors.
Okay, so along with the skits that were created, our ambassadors made a jingle so that it would be put on KHSTV every Friday before we did the raffle. So in addition to the positive referrals, we have little paws. Every color of paws represent a different value of ours. So teamwork, integrity, empathy, respect. And any staff member can give one to the student if they see them doing good. So monitors, security guards, anyone. And the kids can put them in a raffle box, and at the end of the week, the PBIS ambassadors will pull one of each color for a free ice cream from Stewart's. And then we built a bulletin board by the cafeterias to display the cause. There's a bulletin. We started working on posters, but that's still a work in progress. But the adults wanted the students to maybe create posters that talked about hallway movement, but did it in a way that the kids enjoyed the posters. So we're still working on that. So we're starting a mentor program with George Washington Pure Peace Ambassadors. So we got to meet with them last week. That was really exciting. We took 4 of our ambassadors and brought them here and worked with 8 of the Peace Ambassadors here. And we plan on continuing that next year, monthly and bi-monthly, and hopefully maybe building some relationships with other schools. Maria came with me, and she'd like to tell you a quick thing about that.
So we went on a field trip to see the younger kids in the school, and it was really fun knowing that they're willing to want to change the school, make it into a better place. And they talked to us about their methods and bringing peace to the school, and it was really nice to know that, you know, the high school students support their ideas and were willing to actually help them. And they seemed so excited about new programs coming in and us talking to them about a field trip we took to New York City. It was a We Day field trip. It was really fun.
I'll show you pictures in a minute. You can talk about it.
We got to see a lot of great people.
This is our field trip to GW. I'll run through that quick and get you to, well, I can get you to We Day in GW. So our apparel for next year, so that the ambassadors are easily identifiable, our club is creating t-shirts for us, and we ordered some lanyards. Here's our We Day. So 10 of us, 10 ambassadors got to go to We Day, Radio City Music Hall. That's what she's talking about, and that was super exciting. The lineup was unbelievable. Here's one of 3 slides of lineups of people that we got to hear sing or talk, so you can take that over.
Yeah, it was really fun because we got to experience something literally really awesome. It was just amazing knowing that there's a lot of people who want to change the world, who want to travel places, and are willing to help others in need. And one thing that a lot of them do is just travel to different places and help build homes or help out with bullying issues. And it was really fun because it shows that a lot of people want to help out in the community, and that's literally how it should be, you know, have support even though you don't know someone. To have someone be there for you is the best thing ever. And we got some cool shirts, we heard some amazing stories, and it was just really fun.
So the first line up here, there were some singers, but we got to see Martin Luther King III. And this is a model over right with the vitiligo. She was great. So we saw a couple of people that overcame some incredible, they were picked on and teased as teenagers, and they've overcome where they have some serious. One man's been burned, one man's missing the bottom half of his body, but their stories were so inspiring, how they're making a difference and how they're, Paula Abdul was a great story too. She was so poor that she would clean the dance studio in order to get dance lessons. That was her story. So that was a super cool day that got us all pumped up. So that man on the left, he's missing the whole bottom half of his body. He was really funny. Okay, so plans for next year. So we just started this year in January. We have about 12 ambassadors. We're really starting to move and groove. We already have applications for next year. Students can have an application. It has to be, or a teacher can recommend. It has to be, a little application has to be signed by an adult that supports the idea, and they attach their transcript. And so what we have in the works for next year is something called the Tioli room, so the take it or leave it room. Any student now who's cleaning out their locker, teachers are cleaning out their classrooms. They can donate gently used office supplies, so binders, notebooks, pens, pencils, and next year we're going to have like a store where if you need something, you can come see what we have available and you can get it. So it's a perfect time when all the teachers are moving into the new building. We've gotten so many things already. So I think it's going to be a really good thing. Tiger Claw store. So the 10th graders were saying it was really nice in 9th grade that they had the Scholar Dollar store, and they were able to trade their dollars in to get nice presents for the holidays for their parents. But the 10th graders didn't have this option, but they still don't work and they still don't drive. So we thought, the ambassadors thought, hey, we could really bring that into the rest of the school. And so along with our positive pause, we can also bring this into you can buy things at the store. So we're going to work on that for the holidays. Quarterly rewards, along with what Mr. Reinhardt was talking about, we wanted to add to that improvements in grades or anything that was really cool. We want to support you. Just everybody comes to get a certificate and an ice cream pop an ice pop at the end of the quarter. So we're going to work on making an event that we can come socialize and be acknowledged for. And we're going to focus on new student mentoring first. So when a new student comes, they'll get a tour with the ambassador, and that ambassador will continue to be their mentor, touching base with them daily, weekly, to make sure that they're okay. Lunch is a big deal because it's so scary who you sit with. So we're going to have a table that's set up like an Eat With Us kind of table where it's anyone's welcome there, and there'll be puzzles and coloring things to do like that, but also people that are welcoming. We're going to make sure that they know what clubs and things are available to them, and even bring them. They want to check out a club, if they don't know anyone there, we'll bring them there. So that's where our first initiative is going to be as far as our mentoring program with students in our building and be the new students. And in order to become an ambassador, you can recommend yourself or a teacher can recommend you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we're really happy with how far we've gone in 1 year. We know it's a 3 to 5 year process for PBIS, but Yvonne and other people of our team, they did a great job, and our staff is really buttoned into the whole concept of de-escalation and treating our students with dignity and respect, and that's where we want to be. I wanted to just touch on a couple highlights from Naviance. As you know, we started introducing Naviance last January, so I wanted to kind of pick at least one highlight from every grade level. So as far as the senior class this year, the guidance counselors thought it was much more useful as far as getting communication out either individually as a group. We started the eDocs portion, which if you remember the old Common App, students would write their references, teachers would write them and upload them. Now everything goes through Naviance. One of the things they also like, which the two senior guidance counselors were telling me, they're also getting data. We were at the superintendent and I this year, we were at the breakfast this morning. We were talking about students getting into certain colleges and why are certain kids not getting into other colleges. Through Naviance, we can actually see that data. We can see what students were getting in, what was their GPA, what students weren't getting in. Junior class, obviously, their big thing this year is as the junior class ends, getting their recommendations out to the staff, finding their match. Naviance calls it a super match. But starting that process during their senior year, as you know, the FAFSA changed. Students can do their initial FAFSA October 1st. More colleges are doing early action and early decision November 15th. So we feel really good about the fact that we were able to start with the junior class. The sophomore class, the main goal was to actually start the process of actually looking at colleges, seeing what those colleges are about. Naviance has a great tool for that. It also has a tool where the students can put in their ideas and look at careers. So that was for the sophomore class. The main goal for the freshman class, and they were able to accomplish this, was to get every student logged on and get a password and get them used to the family connection component. That's a component where parents can go in and kind of see what the students are doing, what they're looking at, some of the schools. So as you can see, this is a plan that comes out from Naviance, and for only having this program a little over a year, I think we've done a really good job. With my staff is excellent. I think the kids are enjoying it. Obviously, the next piece of this is to make this kind of our dashboard for everything we're doing. And that was a recommendation from the company. Even take it next for all our class elections, homecoming queen, everything is on Naviance, so students really get in the habit of that's where they're going for all their educational information. Next thing I want to touch on, and I'd like to bring up Ms. Hector. One of our goals for the building was to increase our communication, increase our parent association. I met with Ms. Hector in the fall. She stepped up and she offered to take on the presidency this year as we looked at our bylaws and everything. So she's going to want to talk about some of the things we did this year.
Good evening. I see a lot of you parents up here. It gets a little bit more difficult as your child enters the high school, balancing being able to let your children grow up, do things on their own, but still also support the building, support the students. So a couple of the things we did this year, just a couple weeks ago, we had our inaugural book swap, and what that was is we asked parents to bring old test prep books or Barron's books or whatever, and they could come and swap their old books for new books. A lot of the teachers in the high school participated, giving us books from their room. It was great. We actually had 7 parents show up. Didn't really know what it was all about, but definitely said that next year, now that they've kind of seen it, and a couple of people contacted us after the fact and said, oh, we knew that's what it was, next year. I've tried to incorporate this year bringing guest speakers in. We had a gentleman come in from one of the rehab clinics trying to talk about what signs and symptoms to see for your kids. We also had a gentleman come in talking about the Project Tool Up that's going to be going on this summer in Saugerties. We've increased our enrollment. We had quite a few freshman parents come. We had 2 sophomore parents join. I think we averaged about 7 or 8 people in meeting this year, which was probably a 100% increase from years past. Taking off of the superintendents, we've encouraged Mr. Reinhardt to start a principal's blog, and there's also been 3 WKNY shows this year. Just a minute. Also, the parent portal has increased. Last year we had 859 parent logins, and this year we've had 3,551. We've also published, almost, 15,000 more assignments this year on the parent portal. It's still kind of a work in progress. We've been talking to Mr. Reinhardt. There's still some things parents would like to see, but much better involvement on it. Our goals for next year, we'd like to have mobile registration for the parent portal. My goal this summer is to send out invitations to different organizations in our community and start to have our Kingston Parent Association meetings off-site. We'd like an increased opportunity at the book swap. We've also started to invite representatives from the booster clubs to the PA, because I don't know if all of you are aware, once you kind of get to the high school, you're involved in what your child is involved in, not necessarily the central group. But we think it would be good, especially even for freshman parents. Quite a few that came to our first meeting this year were like, my child tells me there's nothing for me to stay night here before. And that's an absolute lie. So, getting the different clubs and different sports to come in and making sure kids stay involved. And we are also setting up a survey for what parents want the guest speakers to be. So.
What do you do, Mike?
Don't get mad at technology.
The next topic I want to talk about is, as you know, 2 years ago, we started increasing our partnership in our collegiate courses offered through SUNY Ulster. As you know, now the site is actually adjacent to ours. The cost has pretty much stayed very low. It's still $55 per credit, 3 for students that are free reduced lunch. This year at our graduation ceremony, we have over 10 students that have already earned 30 plus college credits, and that is excluding AP exams. So we're not to that part where eventually we have students that are well over 40. And they will be recognized by Dr. Roberts, who's the new president of SUNY Ulster. As you can imagine, the amount of money our students have saved in tuition prior to either going to 2 or 4 year schools. We now have advisor Matt Green from SUNY Ulster, now has the ability to meet with our students right on our site, talk about their sequence. So for instance, any 10th grader who is considering wanting to get an associate's, the first step is we want them right away to meet with Matt and Green and start planning out that 2-year sequence. And I can't quite read the bottom one, but I know it says, one of the goals next year is as we start meeting with the 9th graders and have these open house, and Matt Green and Cornelia, both from SUNY Ulster, have agreed to do a parent night and kind of explain that, you know, if this is something that their child would like to do, the conversation has to happen during the 10th grade year, because it pretty much, it'll dictate a lot what they take their junior and senior year in high school. But we're thrilled with this partnership, the amount of credits our students are getting, and also it raises the expectation. If a student is taking a college credit, it's a given that they've had that conversation about graduating high school. So it's a great conversation to have at the dinner table as well as in our high school. Thanks to the school board and superintendent, we started a new initiative this year, Today's Students, Tomorrow's Teachers. We met in the fall. We had our first presentation with our teachers and our staff in January. We hired Sharnika, you might know her. She worked with the Marist Liberty Partnership for years. In April, they had another meeting where she came in, met with students during lunches, 9 periods. We then set up a list. They were able to meet with parents and students were contacted. We had 62 students that got the information. 17 have completed the application, and I think right now she's working on 8 to 10 spots. A little bit about the program. The program starts with students showing interest in 9th grade. They get a building mentor. They also get a district mentor. This is a large program, and the goal is for students of certain minority populations that we identify as there's something there, they like education, we start pairing them up with a teacher, and by the time they leave us as seniors in high school, they're actually working with a teacher in classrooms, and their goal is to go on to become a teacher, and there's scholarships, and there's a lot of private universities that have bought into this program, that if the student graduates from Today's Students, Tomorrow's Teachers, they're in line for those scholarships. On May 24th, we actually had a parent night. 16 of the parents and students were able to attend. I wasn't able to be there, but I know Ms. Bondel said she was there, and she said it was very successful. This month now, we're going to start looking for teacher mentors, now that we know how many students actually want to be in the system, and then we'll pair everybody up. Obviously, the most exciting thing about this is the internship and the mentoring with our own students. We'll start doing some of their internship this summer. And one of the advantages we have of being part of this much larger program is we can now reach out to this organization for our hiring. So as we're looking for diversity and different teachers coming into our school, we now have a platform we can reach out and say, you know, we're looking for X teachers, anybody interested? So this is just an amazing opportunity for our students, but I think it's great for our staff to have the opportunity to mentor. We have a lot of amazing teachers that are very passionate about what they do, and this is a great platform for that. Any questions or anything for me? Yes, Dr. Gold.
This is more of a comment. It sounds like there's a lot going on, and it sounds really exciting. And I'm particularly looking forward to all the parent opportunities because I'll be a parent this year. So I'm very looking forward to taking advantage of all those, and it sounds like a lot of the work is happening.
And a new building.
And a new building. And that too.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, you know, the parent communication, the community, really, you know, I mean, everyone knows how I feel about Kingston. I'm from here. It's a great community. I think the more we reach out and the more we open those bridges and get our doors open, I think we've been successful, we're going to be more successful.
Well, it sounds like you're taking advantage of that.
I have a great staff and I've got great people working.
I was very impressed with your program. It sounds like a great program. It sounds like you guys are doing really good work.
Are we ready to move into the new week?
Today?
No.
We will be ready. We will be, we have a facilities 14th, right?
Yes.
And then we'll after that, we'll talk about orientation. So I was just talking to Madeline about that before, and I met with the APs yesterday about what the orientations and everything will look like at the end of August. Because obviously more people are going to want to see because no one's going to have seen their classroom, so it'll be kind of exciting. Yes, Mr.
So
Sean.
how are we heading towards graduation?
We're going to be about the same as last year, I hope. You know, I was hoping to go a little higher. Maybe not. You know, we're going to be in the 80s again. And my goal, I I told the superintendent, my 5-year goal is to break that 85 mark. It's not going to be this year, but we're still working hard. We're doing a lot of amazing things. As you know, we have some things against us, and we're going to keep working. We're going to keep finding to meet the needs of our students. So that's where we're at with that right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, we have one more presentation. Well, we have a couple of other presentations here tonight, but this one is with Dr. Oliveto, and this is going to be our student internship opportunity presentation.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Dr. Alyssa Oliveto. I'm the Assistant Director of Math, Science, and Technology. I am also overseeing the Student Internship Program. To my right is Mr. Bonds. He is a business teacher at Kingston High School. He is also the internship coordinator, and he has done a lot of work. I'm going to introduce you to in a minute. So a little bit of background before we start. Tonight we're just going to give you a brief overview of what the students have been doing in their internships. And we're also going to talk about the process, the student accountability, as well as the reflection piece of their student internship. So a little background, we are in the second year of this internship program. Initially, this was really started to have the students meet the requirement for their CDAS. However, now it has really expanded further to meet the needs of our students and our student interests. So a few of our community partners currently, the YMCA Farm, which is located directly behind the YMCA, the River Park Wooden Boat School, which is right down on the Rondo, our own technology department at KHS, the YMCA, as well as Health Alliance. So our students, primarily 11th and 12th grade students, however, we do have 9th and 10th grade students currently in internships, and it really depends on what the community partners' needs are and requests are. Actually, at the boat school, they did request 9th and 10th graders, so we accommodated them with that. Our students are, seeking to explore different opportunities and trying to determine the path, their career path. And they also take this opportunity to add it to a resume, either for a college resume or as they approach finding a job. These internships have really offered the opportunity to develop those soft skills that commonly are not taught in any of our coursework. And the importance, if you look through some of those soft skills, you'll see the importance of having established work ethic. The one that really hit home to me with these internships is the team building. The team building is something that I feel is very important, because sometimes at work we may work with on a project that maybe not necessarily people that we get along with. Or in school, they tend to choose their partners, and at work, you don't have that luxury sometimes. And I think, having that opportunity in an internship, they establish, how to work with others. And all of these soft skills really build self-confidence. So this is one of our students, Caleb. He is working with our technology department at KHS. His interests definitely were lying in the computer field, and we tried to accommodate his interests. I just want to take a second to really thank Mike Billum, because he really he worked diligently with Calum, and I really appreciate that. And he provided a great opportunity for Calum, so thank you. So you can see Calum right there. He's actually working, I believe he is working on changing out some hard drives, as well as doing some routine maintenance. This is our YMCA form. You can see that they are all very happy to be there, it looks like, on the left. And this program actually, this internship actually started back in April, where they began preparing the fields for the crop. And I believe they were even building some fences, and then they even moved into planting the crops. This internship also provided an opportunity for our students to speak with local chefs in the area of restaurants to determine their needs of some possible produce that will be coming out of this farm. So this year, I actually had the opportunity to go down to the boat school as well as Mr. Bonds to do a site visit. And I got to tell you, this program is, I really wanted to dive in and start helping them build a boat. And they all had the opportunity to make their own oars. And it was very inspiring to me, the teamwork that was happening there. They really all worked very well together. And here's a few pictures of them working diligently. So I have a short video here, life at the boat school.
I'm Wayne Ford. I'm the boat building instructor here at the Maritime Museum Boat Building School. Everybody starts by making an oar from scratch, basically 2-inch by 6-inch piece of lumber, 8 feet long, and we turn that into a usable oar. It's a great skill builder. There's a little bit of measuring involved. They have to lay out the taper and the shape of the oar ahead of time before they cut it. And at the same time, we started this boat back in October, and you have to crawl inside. It's partner work. There's one person outside backing up the head of the rivet while the other person's inside painting. We gave them a practice piece before we turned them loose on the actual boat. Then we went to the real thing.
My absolute favorite moment is when I get to row in that boat. So that hasn't happened yet, but I know it will. Because I haven't really ever made something by hand by myself. So like the process of making something, I know I worked at it, put in time with it, really gave me a lot of appreciation for work other people do. And it was just really incredible, the team I had to work with. We really like connected, you know, through this woodworking and wood building of something have a common goal. And I haven't really had that except in school. Even in school, like I was like, I want to be individual. But for this, it was just a team bondage and working. It was great.
So I do want to take a moment and to recognize Alan Dumas, who's actually here tonight with his family. And if you've never had the opportunity to talk to Alan, you really should. He was a great kid to talk to. He'll ask you a lot of questions because he's really interested. He's a great kid. So next I have another student that participated at the boat school, and Devin McCrenna is here to just talk a little bit about his experience.
Thank you. It was a really great experience. Alan pretty much summed it up as best as we could. It was amazing how we were able to learn how to plane and sand the oars. I really loved that. But Wayne in the video made it sound much easier than it actually was. It was really difficult to cut everything out. So, yeah, but we actually learned a lot of teamwork with rowing. It was surprisingly difficult to get all of us to row in sync. So once we did, it was beautiful. Like we were one oiled machine. So I think they did a really great job of giving me some life skills there with teamwork that I will take with me for the rest of my life. That's really much all I have to say for you with that. Besides, the boat was awesome. I mean, we finished the boat, and we flipped it over, it looks beautiful. So if you guys ever have a chance to stop down and look at it, you really should. And I don't know if you guys have any questions for me about it, but that's it. I mean, thank you.
Good evening. I'm here to talk a little bit about the process. Students are actively recruited through postings. We have online postings as well as postings throughout the high school. Teacher recommendations are also utilized. One of the biggest benefits I've had for teaching ninth graders, I actually met Devin and Alan in keyboarding class. I normally think keyboarding, it's just typing this and that. It really allows us to build a strong bond with students, and I was actually able to get them into the internship program via that course. Students, after they're recommended for the program, then must meet with the internship coordinator, who's me. I want to get a feel for what the expectation is, what they're thinking, as well as what are their needs or what direction do they want to go in. After that, they complete an initial internship application. They interview with the community partner. Pretty much almost every partner wanted to do an interview of some type. It really allows us to match up, again, the needs of the partner as well as the needs of the student. We have a memorandum of agreement, which I'll go into further in the next one. And there's also many other student responsibilities, which I'm going to go into now. The initial internship application. They attend and receive 16 hours of internship coursework. This coursework was derived primarily from the College and Careers course, which I teach. That course, oddly enough, was funded through a scholarship from Mr. Reinhardt, not a scholarship, but a grant, about 5 years ago. It's interesting how that grant money can still pay dividends years later. That was the Alcoa grant. Students will learn about career interests. We do resume writing, how to talk with your supervisor at the job site. So that's what's composed of those 16 hours. Transportation to and from the internship must be done by the student. One of the goals of the internship program is also to teach responsibility. All right. Maintenance of internship timesheets. I could easily email the partner, the community partner, and say, just give me the times for this week. But again, we're really striving to build some responsibility. It's the responsibility of the student to get the hours down. It's the responsibility of the student to sign it off. And it's also a responsibility to get the supervisor to sign off. It also allows me on a weekly basis to touch base. How's everything going? What did you learn this week? So the timesheets are actually trying to be a critical piece this year. Abide by all worksite rules and guidelines, including those outlined in the memorandum of agreement. And contact worksite if unable to attend. Again, well, we're trying to shift the responsibility to them, right? All too often, I can't tell you how many times students are shocked when they get out of high school. Wow, I really had to do that. Oh, it's my responsibility to schedule. Well, we're starting off trying to build that earlier. Complete at least 54 hours of worksite. And finally, this is something that I added this year. I think it's a critical piece. I'm having students do a reflection. What they liked about the internship, what they discovered about themselves, what were their strengths, as well as what their opportunities were. The partner responsibilities. Before I start this, I gotta really say the partners this year have been incredible. From the new partners in the boat school, to the YMCA Farm Project, to our in-house placements with Mike Villum, Kara Haggerty, the library, everyone's really come together and really has helped the students out tremendously. They must complete a memorandum of agreement. This memorandum will outline student responsibilities, the employer responsibilities, as well as contact information if there's any issues. Advise student-involved workplace rules and regulations. Completion of 2 student employability profiles. These profiles we use to evaluate, we really want to show student growth. Provide student with workplace mentoring. Obviously, if there's an issue, we want the community partners to really work with the students to help them overcome any obstacles. Certified student attendance sheets, and contact me if there's any issues. Our ultimate vision. Our vision is to offer every student an opportunity for work-based learning. We feel that the program can really grow. This past year, we've had 15 successful placements. We could easily see 50 or 60 within the next year or two, easily. We want to create an ultimate experience where college-bound students can explore a career prior to matriculation. We want to give the opportunity for a student who might be interested in accounting or a lawyer to get that field work. We also want to give an opportunity for those seeking trades. Well, what's it really like to be an electrician or a plumber? Well, it'd be nice to get some field work. Even if it's just shadowing, that experience can make a huge difference in their career choice. Career-ready students can develop the skills which may lead to direct employment. And comprehensive community relationships that meet the needs of our local businesses and partnerships. We really feel that we could be the vehicle that could actually help the local labor needs eventually. We could help fulfill those needs, right? We could get students in early and link up to jobs later on. Dr. Oliveto is now going to talk about moving forward.
So moving forward with this program, we have a lot of potential community partnerships in the works here. Wild Earth, we've been working with David Rockstein in our middle schools, and he has been doing an amazing job there with our extended activity period with our kids. And our vision, working with David in the internships, is to bring our interns into the extended activity period. But eventually, what we'd like to see is the kids that are actually in the Wild Earth program currently, as they move up through the grades, eventually I would love to see them as an intern working back with our middle schools. So it's kind of taking full circle and what we call in Kingston, growing our own. Our next one is the City of Kingston Parks and Rec. We're hoping to work with them, our local police departments, our nursing homes, florists, and the City of Kingston Comptroller. The Tulip Tiny House project is actually occurring this summer. This is our newest community partner. This actually, recently they took 37 applications for 5 positions. And those 37 applicants were over 3 school districts. I am really happy to tell you that all 5 applicants are Kingston students. So I'm really happy about that. So this will be occurring, an 8-week program over this summer, 2 days a week. They will be providing transportation for our students to the location. They will also be providing breakfast, lunch, as well as a cash gift every day. I tried to sign up. But I will be happy to report back on that program if you like. Is there any questions? There may be a question about that picture. I am working very hard there, boss. So I was doing a site visit and yeah, I got put on the boat. So. Any questions for any of us?
I just have a comment. And looking at the whole presentation, as Dr. Jakobowitz said, starting with Mr. Reinhardt and his group and you, Dr. Levette, to see the comprehensive side, the college side, the career side, it really is a super exciting time at AHS. And although we have the Navion stuff that's really geared towards that, I think sometimes we tend to, I don't want to say give short shrift, but to that career side. It's really exciting to see you working on those skills like the resume building, the soft skills, getting students used to going in, looking presentable, being eloquent speakers. And I was really impressed, by the way, with how Devin spoke. And Alan, I haven't seen you since Little Red Schoolhouse, but I'm glad to see your enthusiasm is still the same. It's just, it's heartening. It's another great opportunity for our students, and thank you for making that happen. Anyone else?
I would second that.
Third,
Thank you.
it should be a requirement for all students to do an internship. I'm sure you don't want to take that off for all.
I wear a lot of hats, so. Again, I want to thank Alan, Devin, and their families for coming out tonight. Thank you.
And last but not least, we have Mr. Clapper with this very brief owner's representative.
Building's going up and everything's good. Thank you.
Very good. That's good. We're under budget. Good.
Music?
Yep. Here we go. All right. On time. Nietzsche hut, all done, including the side panels. Yay! This is the sound barrier for the chiller on the east wing. The chiller, right now we're balancing the HVAC systems on the cold side, so every room has air conditioning in it right now, and making sure that it's all balanced throughout the building. Sidewalks and road prep are going along on the east side of the building. That road's going to connect around to the west side of the circle, and that work will be done in July, the first week of July. All the blacktopping in that road will be in place. We're at the field house. We are removing all the steam units and sprinkler units, doors, floors. We're tearing it apart. That's about it. There's some folks there doing some sprinkler work. The guy in the ground, he's there on the scene. I might have put the wrong picture up. It was my friends back in the 80s. So when I was in the Forest Hall. This is the sidewalk on the outside of the field house. We're putting in drainage there. There'll be a sidewalk from the ADA ramp over to the pool entry. This is the pool area. They've got that half torn apart. All the swimming fixtures are out of the locker rooms. They're doing the abatement now, and they'll be working to take apart the inside of the pool area next week. We're starting that next week. In Maine, the boilers are all set for the mechanical system. Some piping going up. And then our normal pictures of the hallway. This is the bottom floor on the east wing. They are doing final clean on the top two floors, and they'll be, by the end of next week, doing final clean down there. Classrooms that I've been showing you for many months. This is the entry into Salzman proper by where the new cafeteria is going to be. And this is, I believe, the fourth floor on that side. Cleaning products, telling you that we're cleaning. On the west side, this is the bottom floor. This is the least done floor. But we are, I think about 60% of the classrooms have flooring done in them. All the ceiling tiles dropped, all the lockers are in, tiles in. On the walls, this was one of the classrooms that were laying down tile today. We were just prepping that this morning when I took that picture. This is the other end of that hallway going back into, from the west wing back into Salzman proper. The hallway on the second floor. That was, I don't know if you remember the picture from a couple of weeks ago that all those cables out in the hall. That's what it looks like now. They've got that all tied together, and hopefully, Mike, they've got them all labeled for you, because then they just go over there and they're going to land wherever you're going to plug them in. This is part of the MJM thing. We had a maintenance area at MJM with all our boiler parts for around the district. This has all been moved to this is the basement of Mahar. Everything's been moved out, and we're diligently moving things out of MJM currently to accommodate it coming down. And part of that is this auction. All the sports equipment in the MJM gym, all the desks, chairs, and everything are up on auctionsinternational.com. If anybody wants to bid, we So far, it looks like most of the stuff will be going. And just to kind of recap everything that's happening this summer, because I don't think there's much of any building up there that's not being touched. We're going to complete the field house, install a heating system, demolish NJM, removal at Salzman proper, and start the south addition, complete the new service road, turn over the east and west buildings to Salzman, and then we also, again, the project inside the project, we've got to move all that stuff. We've got to get all those teachers in those rooms and have it ready, and we are going to deliver about the second week of August. We plan on having all those rooms ready for teachers to come. And district-wide, because we just aren't doing enough, we are doing the bathrooms at Graves, the gym floor at Graves, new doors at Bailey. We had some doors that going into the courtyards that really needed replacing. It became a safety hazard. There's new food lines for Ed Corelli at Bailey, stage lighting at Miller, which they're starting next week, and we're going to continue with the faucet and drinking fountain replacements. And that's about as quick as I can do it for you folks.
You said demolish MJM. I thought we were doing that in September. We're going to do that now in August?
It actually, the abatement starts the day school closes. So at the 24th, so on the 23rd, they're going to start the abatement, and we'll actually see parts of it come down in around the end of August, start in September. Okay. There's a bunch of preliminary work that has to happen to do that.
So when we first passed this bond, we were on one trajectory, and then we had to move to a longer trajectory of time because of the buckets, is how I think about the renewal and the funding. But we're clearly ahead of schedule here. So can you explain how that is all fitting together?
Well, what's happened is that we actually had very favorable bids. We've had somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 contracts left, and most of them were under the expected amount. So we were able to do extra work like the heating system in Maine, finishing the field house, some of the site work. All of that work was scheduled for the second phase. And the reason that all happened is that we had a maximum cost allowance of $94 million. To date, we're in about the $80 million range is what we've spent. So we still have $14 million left, even though we're going to complete everything in phase one. So we've actually petitioned the state to continue on and not have the gap, the 5-year gap, and we're waiting for a response on that. And that's the other things behind the scenes that's going on is all the drawings for Maine in the second phase is happening, and we're submitting that in the first week of July. So state ed will have all the information and how much over the maximum cost allowance we're asking for. And we sent them a letter outlining in bullet points of why we want to do it. There's quite a bit of cost savings because we'll probably shorten the project by about 18 months. And so that's all in process. I can't tell you that they're going to do it. I don't know. They've had a little regime change up there, and so we're hoping.
So a bunch of things that were then put into phase 2 are now back in phase 1 because we've been able to keep costs low and have extra money that we can use.
That is correct. And then the overall budget, we're still low on. We're anticipating being well under the maximum that the taxpayers allowed us to spend. So we're in really good shape on this project.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clark.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. And lastly, I have an award to present, and this award is for Board Excellence. It is presented by the New York State School Boards Association in their Leadership Development Opportunities for the total of 150 points in 2017, and this Board of Excellence award goes to Ms. Priscilla Lau. That completes the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. Okay, which brings us to the consent agenda. Are there any resolutions that need to trustee would like pulled from the consent agenda?
B-135.
B-135, thank you.
B-135.
B, I wrote down.
B is in business.
Okay. Any others? Okay, and others, I'll accept a motion to approve the consent agenda minus B-135. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of accepting the consent agenda minus B-135, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, I'll entertain a motion for B-135.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Schoenberg.
Well, I asked for this to be pulled because I don't see any backup documentation as to what the bid term is going to be, what the terms of the bid is in the library. If there is no backup, this resolution just is the board giving me the authority to list the building. Mr. Deegan is working with Margot to have have all the bid documents and the bid specifications together for that bid process. So there is no backup other than the board giving me the authority to start the list.
Well, we have that.
I think we should. Yeah, that's the.
Well, there's an agreement on B-130, there was an agreement on B-136, which was an agreement with Deegan.
That's the listing. The listing.
That's the listing agreement. The listing agreement does list the terms of the bidding. I mean, the listing agreement says what the bidding terms are in it. It's just not if you look at what I think what we're looking for is what the bid terms are. And they're in the listing document that is in your library under 136.
I don't see any listing, any conditions in there, for instance, on a net lease, a lease back or anything like that in the agreement on B-136.
We're get out of the contract, not in the bid agreement,
Right, that's in the negotiations of the contract with whoever the person is bidding.
Well,
Joe's job is to go.
Isn't the bid going to have to stipulate that we expect a contract with no rent?
It stipulates the length of time we want to remain in the building. And it's Mr. Deegan's responsibility to make sure he communicates that we don't want rent. We're not going to pay rent in these situations. So I think that's been the message that he's put out to the bidders.
But if it's not in the bid specification, how are we going to know that all bidders are bidding on the same?
Yeah, and again, I think we're still waiting for whatever that language we're waiting for from Margo and Joe today.
I did not have the documents today. They were still back and forth with it.
And there was a proposed terms and conditions in the May 17th library. Is it substantially the same as that?
Yes. That's.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of B-135 then, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Okay, we also have several donations. Ms. Leo, would you read those?
Sure can.
Starts with B-130.
Yeah, I just was in the library. It would be 130, whereas the Kingston High School is a recipient of a generous grant award from the Community Foundation of the Hudson Valley in the amount of $1,010. B131, whereas Kingston High School is also the recipient of a generous store credit from Harbor Freight Tools in the amount of $200. And B132, whereas Kingston City School District is recipient from the EC Myron PTA in the amount of $645. B133, whereas the ER Crosby Elementary School is a recipient of a generous donation from Stewart Shops in the amount of $1,000. And lastly, but not leastly, the B134, whereas the Kingston City School District Lunch is the recipient of a generous donation from Miss Melissa J. Lawrence in the amount of $77 to help erase the debt students over lunches at Crosby. Continue to have the student lunch debt wiped out. So thank you to all of our donations. Lots of them today.
Thank you very much. And that brings us to Board of Education. And tonight we had Policy Committee, which met on June 2nd. Reporting out, Mrs. Collins.
Yes, we met on June 2nd. There are minutes that Mr. Carter did, which are attached to our agenda. We discussed a couple of different things. Mr. Shaughnessy, as a representative to the Jefferson Committee, brought back some changes that the committee had asked on the Code of Conduct. We asked for further clarification on the addition of failure to practice safe road crossing. We felt that we needed a little bit more clarification on just what's for campus, what that entails. So we will be looking into that, and hopefully we'll have a public hearing on those changes at the June 21st board meeting. We also reviewed a couple of policies that are on here for first reading tonight. Dr. Padalino would ask both Ms. Bonville and Dr. Falicello to review them. Both of them, policy 5695 and 9180, have to do with student use. One is student use of personal devices, the other is staff use of personal devices, meaning tablets, laptops, cell phones, etc. Ms. Bonville related that the only concern at the secondary level that was expressed was that sometimes students are limited by data usage, etc. Dr. Falicello really didn't feel like that was an issue with the elementary school. So both of those policies are being brought forth. They're attached to the agenda for first readings this evening. The committee also went through a list of policies that require annual review. We divvied them up as far as departments, assistant superintendents, etc. We give us input, and we will be reviewing those throughout the summer. Since we're doing that, we're going to suspend our actual meetings. A lot of people go away, and we will look forward to resuming our meeting date the second week in September. Also, and lastly, this evening, we have on here a policy for adoption, which was up for the first reading last time, and that's policy 4325, which is response to intervention, and I'd like to move that policy.
Any discussion? 4325, response to intervention. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention. And that brings us to, we have teaching and learning on the agenda, but we will not be having a report out until the June 21st meeting. They met on the 18th, so we'll be looking forward to that report. Are there any other things that met in the last 2 weeks? All right, Educated Facilities is meeting next Wednesday, and we'll have that report also on the 21st. Which brings us to old business. Is there any old business that any trustee would like to raise at this point? Old business? Okay, I have one item, and that is the board self-evaluation. You received that document in the library this week. If you want a paper copy, Mr. Perna has them. I ask that you return them by the 14th of June so that we can discuss it in executive session on the 21st. So, if you need a copy, hard copy, yeah, Mr. Perna. Okay, new business. Is there any new business that any board member would like to raise at this point? Ms. Guido.
We got some pamphlets presented in front of us tonight. This is new business, right?
This is
Were you
new
going to,
business.
yeah, were you going to talk about this, or?
Yeah.
They still, I mean, we just, a few of us were just talking.
This is just something for you to have, for information for something that's going on in the athletic department. This is the New Guardians Foundation. It's a 501c3. It's a foundation that Mr. Coles has worked with, has created, and working with some outside people to operate this. There's a board of directors, the name of the board of directors on the back. And really what this is something we've talked about. We have an education foundation, and this is a foundation to help support athletics in the Kingston City School District. And I just wanted you to know what was going on. They haven't actually officially started operating yet, but they have their first, actually, Mr. Cole sent me their mission statement just this afternoon, which I'll include that in the next board package, so you see what they're doing, what they're looking at doing. But this is really about, again, finding ways to create a foundation that can support not only extra things that our students do around athletics, but also if in the future there are issues with us being able to finance athletic teams, events, coaches, uniforms, etc., to be able to have something that happens.
Okay, thank you. Just
Any other new business?
Just one piece of, I guess this is new business, but it's really old business, but I just wanted to respond. That document in your May 17th document, that is the bid document. I know there were some dates that Mario and Joe were back and forth, but as I looked at it, read it now, those dates were fixed even back then. So that is what the offer sheet is going to look like, the bid document is going to look like. Those are all the terms that we have required. And if you look 1 through, I think it's 15, 14 there, and the lease back for a granted period of 1 year from the date, and then two additional 6-month periods, those kind of things are the conditions of the bid. So
And those will be in the advertisement?
that's how it will be advertised.
Okay, any other new business? Which brings us to board member announcements. Board member announcements? Mrs. Jordan.
I had the pleasure of going to Crosby School. They had an ELA celebration day, and I just was able to spend a little time in the 4th grades, and each 4th grade had a very interesting and wonderful presentation, and I'm sorry for this one, but they did a really good job.
Thank you. Anyone else? You want to report it?
You can, and I'll add at the next meeting.
Reverend Childs and I attended 3 classes yesterday at Miller School, and they were inquiry days, and 2 were social studies classes and 1 English class, 8th grade level, and they were working together, it was interdisciplinary, on exploring the civil rights movement and the history of the civil rights movement in the United States. It was fascinating, and the kids were very engaged. We saw one class, we went to Mr. Davis's, Mr. Bruner's, and Mrs. Burns' English class. And Mr. Davis's class was a little bit ahead. This is the 2nd year that they've done this, but they did research, quite a bit of research, and they presented in Mr. Davis's class. We got to see Mr. Bruner's class actually in the working, and they were really engrossed in what they were doing. And then Mrs. Burns's class was exploring claims and counterclaims and defending them. So it was a wonderful, wonderful morning.
And the engagement of the children, that's fascinating. You not only were they totally engaged, but they thought, well, if we came in as people entering in, it changed the dynamics of the students, but it didn't bother them at all. The information, the knowledge that they gained, they were giving it out. And I asked them, was it easier for them to write up reports and whatnot, learning it as they have been with the doing their own investigation and so on? Was it easier to write? And they said, yeah. But I was just blown away. I thought it was just great. That's what education is really all about.
It was lovely. Anyone else? Mr. Shaughnessy.
Well, it seems a long time ago already. This is one stretch of time where we've had 3 weeks since between board meetings. So the day after our last board meeting on May 18th, there was the master concert at Point of Grace Church with choir and the orchestra. And it was just an absolutely incredible performance. Our students are so fortunate to have the dedication of the teachers, the volunteer, or I don't know what David Lighton, what his role is, if he gets paid for what he does or whatever, but it's just absolutely incredible to watch him. You know, he's a world-renowned conductor and pianist and musician, and he's working with 150 students or 175 students, and they're just performing at a level which is just unbelievable for a high school student, for a high school program.
You did a wonderful job, wonderful. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Amy Carlson, who actually sent out the invitations to everybody to see the program at Mother, and it was, she met us and brought us in, you know, she's one of the directors, right, coaches.
She's one of the coaches. She's an instructional coach.
Instructional coach, so. All right, any other new business? All right, that brings us to the second opportunity for public participation. Maybe in public last year. Party souls who made it through the evening. If you are interested in addressing the board at this point, please approach the podium and speak directly into the microphone. You have 2 minutes, and Mr. Colonel will alert you when you're approaching your 2 minutes. Anybody? Okay. Seeing no takers, I'll entertain a motion, and having no need for second executive session, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Can you give me a second before I get to that, or do you need me to shut down?